I don't know if I can give you a raw example of this, but in life, we've always been told to sort of never fear the idea of being unsuccessful or being ordinary, average. And at least through the previous experiences in my life, the previous years in my life, I've been told this many, many, many times. Where it's like, Nick, you gotta stop, you gotta chill, you gotta stop worrying about the future, just think about the present. But I just can't. I don't know why, but I just can't stop thinking about the future. And maybe it's a twisted idea of what success means to me, but I just can't stop thinking about it. And yesterday, actually, I was working at one of the job sites I do in landscaping, since that is one of the two jobs I work. And if when I say landscaping, I'm talking about we're like transforming a field that was just filled with weeds to something with like big trees, flowers, carrying pounds of dirt, dropping it, topsoil in it, putting grass on it, etc. So we're pretty much transforming this entire landscape. And this, of course, is a bunch of physical labor. But within the midst of that physical labor, those 10-hour shifts I had for the past 3 days, I sat down on one of the curbs. I looked up at the sun and I wondered, will I be doing this my entire life? I looked down at the ground after and I said I would die. I would rather die than work this my entire life. I even questioned how people did it their entire lives. And I really don't judge myself. Even though I have friends to talk to there, the job in of itself is just pure cancer. It's just pure dread, burdensome. And those moments, and I'm sure you've experienced them too, those moments really bring you to contemplation of life. And I wouldn't even say contemplation is the right word, but the complaint of life. Oh, my life sucks. I really hope I won't be like this in the future. I really hope that in the future I will be free. I will be successful. And so, I guess based on those two sentences, you can kind of determine that my idea of success is freedom. And I'm sure that's many other people's definition of success. But is that a good definition of success? Recently, I've been watching a lot of videos about greatness or the fear of being ordinary and stuff like that, and I've come to a conclusion that makes sense to me, and that being ordinary doesn't necessarily mean being somebody who isn't a millionaire, somebody who's working a 9-to-5 job, or uh, wears the same clothing. Actually, that is you'll see in a second. But somebody who just looks average and works in an average job, but being average is somebody who actually doesn't try new things within the schedule that they have right now, who doesn't challenge themselves within that schedule. And it's a lot about trying new things, it's a lot about failing. It's a lot about going to different places, trying a different pathway when you go to work, trying a different restaurant every single day, rather than sticking with what is comfortable. And I get it. Sometimes we want to get what we desire, which is the things that we've tried before. I mean, I sometimes go to a dessert spot that I always like when I desire that dessert spot, I always go there. And that's fine. I don't judge you. But if we keep doing that all the time, life gets boring. And that's when I believe life gets average. Even if you're a millionaire, working the same business over and over, not trying anything new, not trying a new strategy, but doing the same thing over and over again, not scaling up anymore, because you're set. That is being average. And greatness. Greatness is a big one that I don't know if I'm very qualified enough to teach about yet. But to me, greatness is first and foremost working at something that you truly love doing, no matter what it took you to sacrifice to get there. And now, greatness is also something that you don't sacrifice the beautiful things of life in order to get there, like relationships, like freedom to walk outside or whatever, like the fulfillment of human nature. But it's like a balance, in my opinion. And greatness isn't necessarily being famous or being rich, although, to me, financial freedom is very important. But all in all, I always have this fear of being unsuccessful in the back of my mind like 24/7. And I really don't know what to do about it. I hate the system. I hate the idea of money is the thing that helps us fulfill that human nature of survival. Because we need money to survive. I really don't believe that. I don't believe that we need money to survive. I mean, does that mean I should go and go like to a like an urban area, or just like live in a forest for my entire life? No, I don't think so, because I'm a city boy and I'd probably die to like a little miniature bug or something if I did try. But I really don't believe that money is the need for survival, even though we get all our food from the grocery store, which requires money. We get all our, I guess, desires fulfilled through money. But I mean, if you look back at like the ancient times where our ancestors lived, they didn't do that. They didn't have money. They didn't have systems. And there's a lot of arguments to that. For sure, we live better lives than they did. For sure, we live longer than they did. But is it really about the quantity of life or the quality of life? Like, I don't know about you, but I would rather live 30 years in this earth having the best quality of life than working away at a job that I don't like doing for 80 years of my life and living in more luxury. So I don't know. This is a very all over the place rant, but I really don't like the fact that the fear of being unsuccessful is always in the back of my mind. It really doesn't allow me to let go, as many people tell me to do so. So, for those who have stuck around, which I really appreciate your time and your openness, you're a legend, honestly. I really very much ask help from you. If you do know the answer to why and how I can stop this. Thank you. See ya.